The movie begins on a Turkish train. Robert enters the bar on the train and has a drink with his target, a Turkish man. This Turkish man has kidnapped a girl from her American mother, a bookstore owner, just to spite and hurt her as she is his ex. When the man becomes aware of Robert's mission, he orders his men to take care of him. Robert surveys the room, sets his timer, and proceeds to snap all the goons. He approaches the father, the Turkish man, and gives him a chance to take the easy way out. Grace goes to the office of her lawyer, where her daughter is waiting for her. She tearfully embraces her little girl. Robert now works as a Lyft driver. One night, he is told to take home a young woman named Amy, who has been drugged and possibly raped. Robert takes her to the hospital and returns to the apartment of the guys who assaulted her. The leader of the punks tries to hit Robert, but he uses the guy's card to cut him before breaking his and his biddy's bones. Robert finds that one of his neighbors had her garden vandalized, and the walls have been sprayed with graffiti. Robert starts to wipe it off before he is met by Miles, who frequently interacts with Robert and is an aspiring artist. Miles offers to help Robert take it down, but at a price. Robert goes to the bookstore to find a new book he ordered, and he sees that the clerk is Grace, and her daughter recognizes him. But Grace doesn't know Robert was her savior. When he gets home, he finds Susan Plummer already there. Susan is his former colleague and close friend. They share a friendly dinner. Susan forgot that it was the day of Robert's late wife Vivian's birthday, and she suggests that he get out there more. Susan later talks to a colleague, Dave, as they investigate the murder of the Calverts. They fly out to Belgium to investigate the crime scene. Susan goes back to her hotel room, where she is followed by two thugs who attack her. They start yelling about money, but she puts up a good fight and holds them off before they attempt to corner her in the bedroom. Robert is watching Miles paint the wall when he gets a call from Susan's husband, Brian, to inform him that Susan has been murdered. Robert flies out to Washington, D.C. for the funeral and later starts to investigate Susan's death by reviewing camera footage from the hotel. The thugs are in their apartment blasting music when they hear a phone ring. It's not coming from either of their phones, so they end up finding another phone on the floor. When they answer it, their radio explodes, killing them both. Robert finds Dave, who believed Robert to be dead. Dave, too, his former DA colleague. Robert determines Susan's death may have been connected to the Calvert murders. Robert observes Miles going out with two neighborhood gangsters. He follows them to their apartment, knocks out their guards, and takes their guns to force Miles to come back with him. Robert is driving a passenger who says he's going to the airport. He gets suspicious and intentionally takes the wrong route. The passenger tries to stab him. Robert manages to elbow him in the face repeatedly. The guy then tries to shoot Robert, but he grabs the gun and shoots him first. Robert takes the assassin's phone and finds coded information on it before he burns the car with a man's body inside. Robert takes Brian, Susan's husband, away to a safe house until he sorts this situation out, fearing that Brian may be targeted as a loose end. Robert takes the phone to Dave's house, where he meets Dave's wife and two daughters. Robert shows Dave the information on the phone and traces the source back to another phone, which happens to belong to Dave. Dave reveals that after he and the other men, who were all taught under Robert in the CIA, believed him to be dead, they got involved in some nasty business, and when Susan nearly found out, Dave killed her himself. Dave took Robert outside to reunite with Resnick, Ari, and Kovac. He vows to kill them all for what they had done to Susan. Robert is then given a ride by Dave's wife, as if to taunt him. Miles is at Robert's apartment, painting the wall for him. Dave and Kovac attempt to break into the apartment just as Miles is on the phone with Robert. Robert orders Miles to find a secret hiding spot behind his bookshelf, and he goes there. Robert calls Dave before he finds Miles and tells him where they can find him. Miles thinks he is free to go, but Dave kidnaps him at gunpoint. Robert heads to his old hometown, which is being evacuated due to a hurricane. The four villains scour the town to find Robert. Kovac goes into a shop, where Robert shoots a harpoon through his head. Ari then goes after him, but Robert catches him first and slices him up and down his whole body. Resnick follows Robert through another shop, and he gets blown up by a grenade. Dave is left at the top of a tower, trying to snipe Robert. He manages to contact him and tell him that Miles is stowed away in a shrine, and Dave will kill him if Robert doesn't surrender himself. He fires several taunting shots, but once he gets to his last shot, Robert shoots the tire of the car that is miles away so that Dave can miss him. Robert then climbs to the top of the tower and faces off against Dave. Robert gouges Dave's eye out before grabbing his knife and stabbing him in the abdomen. And then he slices Dave's neck from the back before throwing him off the tower. Robert goes to free Miles and sees that he got shot in the leg. He takes the boy to his old house, where he treats his wound and stops the bleeding. Farima sees that her garden has been restored and that a mural has been painted on the wall by Miles depicting what appears to be life in her old country. Robert is standing outside his old house, looking out into the ocean. Robert is leading a new life as a Lyft driver while also handling business against those who harm others. He also acts as a mentor for Miles, who wants to be an artist. Share the fun with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more exciting reviews. Don't forget to tap that bell icon so you never miss an update. Stay tuned for our next AL Fabro movie film review. Thank you for watching.